Alright everybody, welcome back to another turn of Operation Montagnard. This will be turn 20 for the Japanese, which is January of 46. Few minor bits of housekeeping, go oldest to newest. When the British Commonwealth invaded Malta, they did not apply the bombard as a pre-first strike as they should have, which means one Marine survives the first round for the British Commonwealth that was not accounted for. So we're going to be rolling for the cascading effects of his presence in round one. In round one, he has a 2 or less to hit. Excellent, that makes things easy. And round 2, he also has a 2 or less to hit. That's another miss. Okay, so the only effect from the entire change here is that an additional Marine will survive the battle for the British Commonwealth on Malta. Alright, moving forward to the Italian turn. When they attacked Tunisia on round 2 of that combat, they received 3 casualties but deleted 4 die. So we're going to continue rolling for those units that did not continue participating. So in round 3, there should be 1 additional infantry that did not roll, and he's rolling at a 2 or less because he's boosted by artillery. He misses. In round 4, 1 of the artillery should still be surviving because the infantry should have been taken as a casualty first. And then round 5 should have cleared everything in the recording, but there should have been another round with 1 artillery surviving. I think to be consistent with the decisions that were apparently made on screen, he would choose to continue attacking into Tunisia, so it would roll for an additional round, and it misses again. I'm not even going to bother rolling for the French and British Commonwealth response. They're almost certainly going to get at least 1 hit, and nothing else matters. So, in the end, there were no changes at all in Tunisia, but everything was rolled out correctly now. Okay, and lastly, when the Americans attacked Kyushu, the AAA defending Kyushu should have received the bonus for dug-in defense, which was not accounted for. The only change there is going to be 1 more fighter was lost as a casualty in that combat, and there should be no cascading effects. The Americans won that fight very quickly, so not a lot of rounds to deal with on that one. Okay, and with that, we should be able to jump straight into the Japanese turn. We'll start with tech, which I did not roll off screen, considering I have no chance of completing any text this turn, and missed anyway. Okay, I only do get 1 tech roll this turn because I've lost my other major factory. Okay, so moving on to buys, I'll finish 1 heavy cruiser, and spend the remaining 2 on 2 militia using the Patriotic Citizens bonus to cut those their cost in half, leaving nothing behind in the bank. Combat moves, we have only a few. The submarine and coastal submarine in P49 are going to raid in place. The infantry, 1 infantry from the 41st Army in Beiping is going to be marching north and capturing Rihi. And we'll have a series of combats from southern China as well. From the 97th in Kwangtung, 1 infantry, 1 marine, and 2 artillery are going to attack Hunan. And everything else that's mobile from the 97th, which includes 1 infantry, 1 airborne infantry, 1 mountain infantry, and 1 artillery, is going to be striking northward into Quichao. The fighter from Kwangtung is going to be joining into Quichao, and the tactical bomber from Guam is flying 1, 2, 3 into Hunan. And that's all of the... Oh, one more combat move. From Sumatra, Marines are boarding the destroyer present there and moving 1, 2, 3 into I-3, from where, I guess from which the Marines are going to conduct an amphibious assault on Madagascar. Okay. Um, that will be the last of the combat moves declared. And we can go ahead and roll these out. So Rihi is automatically liberated, and Madagascar is automatically captured. Those are already handled. We'll do the raiding next. For the coastal submarine, we have a penalty of 2 to the British Commonwealth, so the gray die will get a bonus of 2. The light orange die will just stay as it is. That's 0 damage, but the submarine does survive. The next roll for the normal submarine, there's just a bonus of +1 to the gray die. No damage again, sub survives again. All in all, I'm okay with that result. Okay, moving on to the north. Deal with Hunan first. We have 2 artillery, first striking at a 3. They're crossing river, but artillery don't suffer a river penalty. No hits. Okay, so next we'll roll the tactical bomber, rolling at 7. That's a hit, so that's all we needed. The militia is rolling in defense at a 2. That did miss. So I have taken the territory, and this is where I'm going to do something a little bit squirrely. Immediately after conquest of a territory in Chinese home country that I did not originally own, I'm going to decide to liberate the territory to the KMT. And these units will have to retreat back into Guangdong. Okay. And then we'll continue with the combat in Quichao. We have only 1 artillery for striking at 2 or less in Quichao. We do have mountain penalties applied to the artillery. Yeah, that's rolling at a 2 or less. That's a miss. Next, we'll roll for the fighter at 6 or less. 1 hit. We have a mountain brigade crossing a river, but with a artillery bonus, so it's rolling at a 2 or less. That is another hit. That is all we need. And in defense, the CCP rolls 2 militia. Both missed. And so, once again, I am going to capture this territory and liberate it back to the KMT. And the 97th Army is going to retreat back into Guangdong to make that happen. Okay, good enough for now. Okay, and that is all of the combats accounted for. At the end of the combat movement phase, the fighter and tactical bomber that participated in attacks in southern China are going to land in Guangdong. And then we can move on to non-combat movement phase. Okay, we'll deal with the south first. Got a few to deal with. From Sumatra, one Marine is boarding the remaining destroyer, and it's moving 1, 2, 3 into I-5, and the Marines are disembarking into Eritrea. Also from Sumatra, the fighter is joining that Marine, flying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into Eritrea. Okay. Um, and all the remaining mobile units from Sumatra, 2 infantry and 1 airborne infantry, are boarding 2 naval transports that were in port in Sumatra, and moving 1, 2, 3 into I-3. The infantry class units are disembarking into Italian Somaliland, and all of the naval units in I-3 are going to be going in port in the major port in Madagascar. That's 1 destroyer and 2 naval transports. Keep those on the eastern side, so they're very clearly not in Africa. Okay, I do believe with that we're done down here. Done in China, nothing in the Pacific. Okay, in Japan's home island itself, we have 3 infantry and 1 AAA marching from Honshu to Tokyo, and 1 airborne marching from Tokyo to Honshu. And that's all of the non-combat movements we have to manage. With that, we should be able to place our buys, meager as they are, collect income, meager as it is. The militia are both being placed in Honshu, and the heavy cruiser is being placed also in port in the major shipyard on the western side of Honshu. Yeah. And collecting income, we have 4 IPP on our home islands, and are island nationed and cannot collect more. Alright, and with that, I should be able to pass the board state off to Tactical for his next British Commonwealth and Free French turns. And with that, best of luck on everyone's next rolls.